All right, CNT125 Risk Management Lab. We just got done doing some tests with Telnet and SSH and RDP, capturing those protocols and examining, seeing that, Telnet is not secure, SSH is encrypted, so it's a lot more secure. RDP is encrypted, so it's a lot more secure. So kind of examining our protocols in our network and why certain things get used. We're now going to move on to, let's look at doing some network mapping. We're going to use a utility called NMAP that's going to scan a device in our network, and it could be a router, could be a switch, could be a client, could be a server, and it's going to scan for possibilities of things that might be security problems. Okay, so early on in the lab, we double-checked, I'm scrolling it to the top, we double-checked that Wireshark and WinPCAP were installed, and NMAP was installed, but not NPCAP, so it does not conflict. So we did that early on. Make sure you've done that. Coming back down here to NMAP, it should already be installed in your machine, so please don't install it again. Here it is on mine, NMAP. That's what I'm looking for. Or if I click the Windows icon and type in NMAP, I'll see it. Okay, that's already installed. I don't need to install it, but I included the link here in case you wanted to install it on your home system. Just make sure it's your home system on your home network that you use this. Don't do this on a work computer. Don't run this on a work network, if you will. Make sure it's all on your system at home. So I have it installed. I'm going to launch this guy. So we'll launch NMAP. And I'm going to now scan. It's going to do an intent scan of, we're going to do our 2011 router. So looking at my network map. Oop, where's my map? Here's my map. I'm going to scan. I'm sitting on this PC right here. I'm going to scan this router, 160.60.0.1. So I'm going to put in 160.60.0.1. And I'm going to leave the intent scan option. I'm going to do scan. It'll probably prompt me for basically administrative privileges. I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to let this run. It's going to take a minute. It's actually going to try to do a number of different things. One of them is it's actually going to try to scan a whole range of ports, thousands of ports, to see what ports are open. It's also going to try to detect operating systems, that sort of things, anything it can about this device. And the idea is for us as an admin, if we scan our devices like a router, like a switch, like a firewall, like a server, if we scan it, we're trying to learn, is there anything open on this thing? Is there anything here that we're not aware of? So in this case, I just got done scanning the router. It's giving me a whole bunch of information about this. I'm going to go right across the tabs here. Let's go to the ports. It says, hey, on this device, you have port 80 and 22 open. Well, if that's what we have planned for that device, excellent. But if it's not, that would give us a clue of like, ooh, maybe we need to go in and shut off this port. Or maybe we need at least to do some homework to find out, is anybody in our IT team, if you will, is anybody in the IT team need this open? Will closing this affect anything? So this allows me to start seeing on this device what might be there that is either useful for us or potentially a security risk for our network. That's what this allows us to do. That's what NMAP allows us to do. So I'm seeing here that I'm seeing 22 is open. That's our SSH. And I'm seeing 80 is open. That's browsing in. Maybe I don't want that open. Maybe I do need to close that. Okay? That's what this starts telling me. This can be very valuable. What I want you to do is scan at least this, this router. I'm going to save these results. So what I'm going to have you do is just highlight, kind of select all here. I'm going to copy, Control C. I'm going to open my notepad here, and I'm just going to paste these results in. So I'll do paste, I'll right-click paste, and I will save this. Yes, there's a lot of extra spaces in here. That's all right. I'm going to do a file, save as, and I'm going to call this guy NMAP router scan. I think that's what I'm having you use over here. NMAP router scan. There we go. Yep, that's what we're using. NMAP router scan. Make sure you leave the TXT on there and save that. And those would be some results we could look at to determine, is there anything here open or, that shouldn't be open. Maybe Telnet is open on this and it shouldn't be. Then we know to go in and configure that and close that. Turn around and do the switch that's here. We'll do, 60.02. Do a scan on that and see what we see on this one. Maybe do the other router, maybe do the other switch, okay? This would be a utility I can use. Again, we're doing ethical hacking here, if you will, on our own network. So make sure it's on your own network, on your own equipment. Don't do this on any work computer, any work network. Okay, it's going to look like you're trying to hack in. But we're using it here to see what can this give us. So I did the router. I'm doing the switch now. I'm seeing on the switch that we have 23 telnet 80 and 443. So again, if those are what I want, great. But as we know, telnet telnet shouldn't be open. So maybe that's something we go in and close. Okay, so there's my switch. I can do my other router. Let me see if I can try the workstation across the network. Let me see if I can wake him up. He was, let me see what we get on this. 160.60.32.10. Let me see if we get anything different on the workstation across the network. I'm going to try to scan that guy and see if we get any results. This is the one we enabled RDP on. So see if that shows up. Oh, yeah, there we go. 3389. That's our RDP. So we're seeing that RDP is enabled on this guy. Again, if that's something we need, great. If not, that would be a clue if I need to change that. Yeah, there's your terminal services, Windows terminal services. That's your RDP. And again, this tool can be used against workstations, against servers, routers, switches, firewalls, that sort of thing. And this would be the kind of thing you're doing on your network to assess the security of our devices or things that I might need to consider closing, etc., etc. Okay? So there's your NMAP scan. At least do the 20-level router and save that, but try some of the other ones and see what you learn as well. So there is doing some vulnerability testing or assessment, network device assessment in our network using our network mapping tool, NMAP.